sketchy weather day today, unfortunately. It's actually just drizzling a little here, but it's actually super sunny down there in the south. So I couldn't really make the trip or anything like that further north. It actually feels like it stopped raining a little bit here, so who knows, maybe I'll be able to fly the drone a bit once the rain clears up, maybe, we'll see. So much drone related stuff today though. When I woke up, the first thing that popped up was on my phone, this update for the Airmap. It says the LAANC is now live. I'm like, what's going on? This is supposed to be that automated airspace authorization procedure. Like, I think they're doing it digitally, so I guess it's live for everyone in the US. Kind of interesting. Anybody out there actually try this? And I figured if this came up, then something else must have happened. Apparently there is, like in the US. But apparently there are some new products too. You know how I've always talked about thermal cameras and on drones and how they're so expensive and everything like that too? Well, it seems like apparently that Parrot Bebop has a thermal camera drone now as well. It says the Parrot Bebop-Pro Thermal at the Commercial UAV Expo. And they're basically targeting this towards professionals, people like firefighters and emergency workers and all that. It's kind of interesting how fast everyone's going in terms of the tech. It's actually pretty competitive, I think. That's probably a good way to have them stand out, I suppose, to the rest of the competition. I guess whether or not price-wise it's okay for an average consumer, probably not. Again, it's probably meant more for businesses and organizations, but it's still kind of cool to see the tech evolving in this way. I was even thinking of that for drones and the manufacturers and companies. Is anyone actually brand loyal at this point, even though the market is still growing in many ways? Like, does anybody actually refuse to buy anything else but a certain company's specific products? Or nope, once you see a certain spec at the right price point, you would buy that instead? Actually, I remember one of you guys saying you wanted to see this little area again, so I thought I was passing by, why not? So the story in the US about the drones, I don't know if this is very political with the way it's titled. It says, Trump to launch drone pilot program for a neighborhood near you. It says President Donald Trump will sign a memo Wednesday establishing a pilot program to better integrate unmanned aircrafts into the national airspace, the White House said, hoping to lay the groundwork for more modern regulations to keep up with society keen on drones. They also make the statement I've often heard. It says unmanned aircraft now outnumber manned aircraft, and more than 1 million drone owners have registered with the Federal Aviation Administration. And the reason for this apparently is they're saying drones are better in various situations, like say a natural disaster. You can fly a drone there to kind of scuttle the area, so they need kind of more modern day regulations and approach to this. One of the things that never made sense to me is that beyond visual line of sight rule. For example, it just doesn't make sense in many ways to always try to stare at this dot like up in the sky as opposed to a screen where you have a clear view of everything, like if you're trying to pan around the buildings and everything like that. So in that sense, it's kind of good. And it even says here, those proposals could include operating drones in a way currently restricted by the current regulations, including flying beyond visual line of sight, nighttime flights, and flight over people. And they say here, one city could propose a package delivery option that would involve drones flying between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, a senior administration said. Another could focus on using these drones as a new tool for first responders. I think that's necessary. In my opinion, that's the way to go. I mean, you need to modernize everything and don't always think of drones like some manned aircraft, because in many ways the flying is completely different, even for what a lot of pilots say in terms of the skills. And here's the place if you want a more closer look at everything, I guess. Although the weather isn't ideal. Actually, how about I enter it through this way so you can see what it's actually like through the entrance. I was potentially thinking of flying the drone here when the weather's better, when there's obviously not a lot of people. Where there isn't now, but it's raining, so yeah, I can't do it. To me, it's good to see the progress, even though it's not here in Canada. As long as the rest of the world does it, then at least there's that kind of pressure where if a certain country's not doing stuff like that, everyone would wonder, well, why not? Why are you stuck in such a dinosaur age type of mentality? I know things like safety is usually the concern, like with the flying over the crowd because you could hit people. I was thinking of this crazy other story I read that's completely unrelated, but it says here, apparently there were 5 teens that were taking these huge rocks, like 6 pounds, and in some cases it even says tires if these news reports were accurate, and they were throwing them over the highway overpass, and apparently, unfortunately, it actually killed somebody. Jeez, ridiculous. At least from what I read, is that they're gonna basically trial them as adults, because I guess in that state, the law is they are old enough to know what the heck they're doing. And the intent, I guess the argument right now is when they threw it, they actually purposely tried to hurt people or whatever as a prank, although I guess the other lawyers would say otherwise. At the same time, it makes me think, I don't care what it is, anybody, as long as they're doing stupid stuff, you can use anything to do dumb things like that. I think that's one of the examples too. No amount of laws or regulations can stop things like that. It's more about how you're gonna deal with it when the situation happens in many ways. Oh, that's kind of an ideal placement of a leaf. Is this artwork or something? That's crazy how it's so much brighter here. Okay, that was kind of crazy. There was like a brief window of opportunity to capture some stuff because the rain stopped. So I was like, oh, let's fly it up there, capture some water and stuff like that. And as I was doing it, there was like this eagle that was circling around me. I was like, what's going on? So I was trying to like capture, like keep it in the shot. Hopefully I got it. I was more focused, like, oh, don't hit the drone. Although I find for some reason the eagles are attracted to the model aircrafts before when I was shooting at the other place. Oh well, I guess that's why you carry this stuff around too. You just never know when the shots are there, right? Anyways, see you guys later.